I wanted to put a lot of emotion into this song. It's Mark is so fast paced and he moves so quickly and he speaks in excitement because everything that's going down is just this and this and this and this. And if you want a very quick rundown of Christ's time on earth, Mark gives you a pretty good summary really quickly. So we start off the song with "Let's set the stage." There's a man in the sand with a camel hair coat and a leather bound hand. Just diving right in, just like Mark. We're trying to get this in. We're going to revisit this. I'm probably going to say that a couple times, but loads of content, right? We go to Mark 1. Chapters 4 through 6. Sorry, chapter 1, verse 4 through 6. So, John came baptizing in the wilderness and preaching a baptism of repentance for the remission of sins. Then all of the land of Judea and those from Jerusalem went out to him and were all baptized by him in the river Jordan, confessing their sins. Now John was clothed with camel hair and a leather belt around his waist, and he ate locusts and wild honey. So we're setting the stage. John the Baptist is the forerunner. Mark, there's no birth story. We're just jumping straight into the grid of the desert. The Spirit descends like a dove upon Jesus. And we're off into another story, just like Mark, where Jesus walk in where the fishermen play, drop the net, boys, give the boat a rest. He's just, hey, let's go. And that's how Mark explains it. Like, hey, come on. Mark 1, 16 through 18. And he walked by the Sea of Galilee. He saw Simon and Andrew, his brothers, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishermen. Then Jesus said to them, "Follow me, and I will make you become fishers of men." They immediately left their nets and followed him. So I had a lot of fun with this song. I decided that because Mark is constantly saying immediately and everything seems so rushed and it happens now and we're moving along to the next town, he says constantly, I needed to make this song fun. I needed to make it upbeat. I needed to make it fast paced. I needed to make it like it was just rushed and everything was so exciting. And then the highlight is the mission and the test. Mark emphasizes that the disciples didn't hesitate. They dropped everything and they followed him. Brand new authority. The word of the day, like it says in the song, immediately. Mark likes that word. So, um, so we move into the secret of the storm. Keep it a secret, don't tell a soul. Who is this man that the hurricane fears? Kind of a chorus as well. It's like I said, it's all fast paced. It's all kind of mixed together. I really didn't break it into choruses. I wanted this to be just like punch, 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 like how Mark moving to the next, moving to the next, moving to the next. We don't even get through the first chapter, and Mark is just like, hey, we're talking about John's baptism, Satan's tempts, and Jesus begins in Galilee's ministry, the fishermen called the disciples, the cast out the unclean spirit. Just Mark had so much to say that it was just bam, 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 bam. So for this next part, keep it a secret, don't tell a soul. Who is this man the hurricane fears? If we go to Mark
chapter 4, 39 through 41. My goodness. So, like I said, just story after story after story. So then he arose and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, "Peace, be still." And the wind ceased from the great calm. Now, "Peace, be still" is not what I used in the song. I had this moment where I stopped. I've got a voice that comes in and it's just like, cut it out. You know, like, why are you bothering me? Why are you doing this? I wanted this song to be like he couldn't. He just, hey, peace, be still, stop. Like, not really needing to go with this dramatic effort, not really needing to do anything that's like crazy about it. He just, be still, and it was. That's it. That's the end of the storm. So
So we're in that zone. And the reason that I cut music and I stopped is because the hurricane stops. It becomes silent. Mark explains that it's just calm and silent. And I didn't use peace be still, but I did use you know, cut it out. I wanted to add a little. I didn't want it to be an eerie silence. I wanted it to be this kind of funny breakup moment. We're moving such fast pace. Stop. Cut it out. And the spirit of Mark, we're not even going to capitalize on that. It's just calm. It's done. He wanted the storm to stop. And we're up onto the next. Upon a cliff, talking about what we're moving into next. Um, so, who do they say I am? Get behind me, Peter. You're thinking too small. Um, I wanted this song to be exciting. I wanted it to be fast paced and moving forward. And I was thinking this moment is exciting. It's everything that Mark had to say is exciting because it is the path that was taken for moving things in motion and the ultimate sacrifice that was made. And I go through this once fast and excited because Mark is always fast and excited. And then I go through this portion again and I take a different tone because this is a hinge on the entire book. Um, the lyrics capture the tension between Peter's correct answer and his misunderstanding um, of what Christ actually has to do. So, we go through this fast pace because Peter's not really understanding. He makes his rebukes, he's going through, and then Christ pulls him aside and says, "No, you need to get behind me, Peter. I'm telling you, this is it."
if we go to Mark 8:27-33. Now Jesus and his disciples went out to the towns of Caesarea Philippi, and on the road he asked his disciples, saying to them, "Who do they say that I am?" So they answered, "John the Baptist, but some say Elijah, and the others one of the prophets." He said to them, "But who do they say I am?" Peter answered and said to him, "You are the Christ." Then he strictly warned them they should not tell one about him. And he began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer many things to be rejected by the elders and the chief priests and scribes, and be killed, and after 3 days rise again. He spoke these words openly. Then Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him.
We end the song after the sacrifice. The stone is gone, the tomb is bare, but they didn't say a word.
Mark 16. There's my bookmark. Mark 16, chapter 16, he is risen. So verse 8. So they went out quickly and fled from the tomb, for they had trembled and were amazed. And they said nothing to anyone, for they were afraid.
The ending in Mark is famous for being abrupt. The women who leave the tomb are to tell no one because they are trembling and they're bewildered. And the song ends the same exact way. We're fast paced, we're excited, we're doing all of this, we're going through. We take a moment to reflect and actually understand the heed of what he's telling Peter. And then there's this, the tomb is empty, and the song becomes a haunting, powerful note of awe. We're just done. And we're not going to say a word because I don't think that there's anything left to say. It happened. If you want a quick rundown of everything that Christ did, Mark will tell you as fast as he can, and then he has nothing left to say. So, if you want more stories in music, please follow. We are going to revisit Mark, I promise, because you could make 100 songs from Mark, and you could probably make 100 more after that. But challenge, I am going to try and commit to at least making one song from each book of the Bible before I go back and touch any others. So this is the song from Mark for now. We may revisit Mark later on, but yeah, follow. Let me know in the comments what book you guys want next. As you've seen by that little short, I mean, even the dog's excited about this. This is what we're doing. Here's Son of Man, the Book of Mark.
Well, let's set the stage. There's a man in the sand with a camel hair coat and a leather-bound hand. He's shouting, prepare, as the water starts to rise. Then the Spirit descends. Oh, what a surprise! And immediately, yes, that's the word of the day. Jesus is walking where the fishermen play. He says, drop the nets, boys, give the boat a rest. I got a brand new mission and a brand new test. Oh, keep it a secret, don't you dare tell a soul. I'm the Son of Man and I'm taking control. It's a whirlwind tour, it's a race against the clock, and the Pharisees are waiting just to give me a knock. Who is this man that the hurricane fears? The suffering servants drying all your tears. And the storm's acting tough, but he's napping in the back. Hasn't he had enough? He wakes with a yawn, looks at the waves and says, cut it out. The cliff you're thinking too small. There's a cross at the end of this grand hall. 1, 2, 3, go! Who do they say I am? He asked with a wink. But the answer is heavier than you'd ever think. Get behind me, Peter, you're thinking too small. There's a cross at the end of this grand hall. 1, 2, 3, go! Secret, don't you dare tell a soul. I'm the son of man and I'm taking control. It's a whirlwind tour, it's a race against the clock, and the Pharisees are waiting just to give me a knock. Who is this man that the hurricane fears? The suffering servants drying all of your tears.